Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to chat. I guess first things first, let's make sure that everybody can see us and hear us because we're in totally different places.
Different sides of the country,
now
even.
Kelly's away, and we have to get together virtually. So, okay.
This feels very weird. I feel like I'm flying blind because I don't have my screen to see what's going on in front of me. But hey, it's good to be back.
We'll just see
it's
how
good
it
to be
goes.
back
Good to
with
be
you.
good. Yep, good to be back. So I saw that Lori and Sarah were the first ones in here tonight. So thanks for getting the chat started. So we should introduce ourselves. I am Noelle, and this is my
Kelly.
friend
Kelly.
Yes, and we are Knits and Pieces. So we are a knitting podcast. We do a live every Tuesday so that we get to chat with all of our knitty friends from all over the world. And occasionally we do a regular podcast, which we had one not too long ago. For the last 2 weeks, we haven't been together live, but last week I did get to watch. It was kind of watching it like bits and pieces because being away, the internet was not very reliable where I was. But I want to say a big thank you to Natalie for filling in. She did a tremendous job. We were so happy to be able to have everybody meet Natalie because she's been so generous to the podcast. And I think that everybody loves her patterns as much as we do.
We do.
But yeah, so I'm back, and this is I might be a little off today. I just got home at 8:00 this morning, and that was after pretty much almost a 24-hour travel day yesterday.
Traveling.
So yeah, so
she's
being awake and
fresh in from Turkey and Greece.
Yep, couldn't sleep on the plane. I can never sleep on the plane. Or every time I feel like I'm just about to doze off, they put that announcement on that says "Return to your seats because of air turbulence," and I'm like jumping out of my seat. But man,
well,
I forgot.
You are not. I don't want to call you a nervous flyer, but you don't like to fly.
No, I don't really like to fly. But you know what? I've gotten better. But I don't really like to fly. But I cannot sleep on a plane. So. But anyway, good to be back, and was a great trip. Like it's always a different experience wherever we go. Definitely different culture than here in North America. But great to experience it and ride through the gorgeous scenery. Like the bike rides were absolutely amazing. Like the scenery is just spectacular. Like I guess I don't really know what I was expecting, but I didn't really think of Turkey as being kind of like mountainous.
Okay.
But let me tell you, we were not riding up hills. We were riding up mountains.
Mountains. Yes.
But just like spectacular scenery. And I mean, the Mediterranean and the Aegean seas are absolutely gorgeous. Like the last couple of days in Greece, like the water, it's like this aqua color, and you can just you can see right through it. It's just amazing. So, and I had posted a few little videos on Instagram.
Yes.
So we did go to some different historical sites, which were very interesting. And a lot of the islands just, have their own quaint little villages in them. And we weren't in really a lot of the big cities. I would say in Turkey, the biggest city that we were in was Bodrum. And I do believe it's 4.5 million. So that's pretty big compared to Sarnia. But a lot of the little villages and towns that we rode through were quite a bit smaller. And I really like those. Like I'm not a big city person. I like the little
towns.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So the burning question probably that's on everybody's mind is, did you find yarn? Did you find yarn stores?
Yeah, of course.
I think you did on the first day, right?
The first day we did, but not so much in Greece, but in Turkey, there were honestly, you'd just be walking along and you go, oh, there's a yarn store. Oh, here's another yarn store. Because Turkey does produce a lot of the yarns that are sent to be sold all through the world.
Yes. So, I know. I've been noticing that on some of the things that we've been knitting with lately. And if we look on the ball bands, there are quite a few yarns that we work with here that come from Turkey. So
So anyways, but I'll show you those at the end. And it was. I didn't pop any pictures in. Honestly, today's been like crazy. So working on lack of sleep, and so once I go through my pictures, I'll see if there's a few more pictures, and I'll pop them in for next week. Now, Julia was asking here about about whether the bike was an e-bike or a regular bike. Okay, Julia. So the first week, I had a regular bike, and out of the 6 days I rode 4 of them. But let me tell you, like, I was exhausted at the end of the day because they were huge hills. So we actually contacted the company, and I got an e-bike for the second week, and I was so glad because basically there was very little flat. Mostly what we were riding was hills, or like mountains. Like, you're not just going up and going down, you're going up, 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 up. And like the one day we actually rode up to the top of this island, and then we rode down into the crater of a volcano. And it was really cool. Like, we got to walk across the crater and all around it. And I'll pop that video in next week. You could see all of the steam coming from the little crater holes where there was still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you could smell the sulfur, but it was really cool. But then we had to ride back up out of the crater.
Of course. Yes. Because, going down is so much easier than going back up.
But, like Turkish coffee I had tried Turkish coffee for the first time. I really, really liked it. Was good, strong, kind of like an espresso, but I found it wasn't quite as, like, I find espresso for me is a little too bitter. I need something in it, but I did not find the Turkish coffee like that at all. And it's got more spices in it. And then baklava, which baklava actually is actually originated in Turkey. I always thought it was Greece.
I thought so too.
No, it's Turkey. So, and it was amazing. It was like, luckily my jeans still fit when I got home.
Well, it was all that mountainous pedaling we were biking
at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
well, I really missed you. 2 weeks is a long time to not have a friend.
3 weeks.
And now it's 3. It's actually going to trickle into the 4th week that we won't see each other than on a screen.
3 weeks tomorrow that I left.
Yes. And then I'm still away for.
Yeah.
So it's a long time to be without a friend.
Yeah.
And, again, huge thanks to Natalie for filling in for Noelle last week. And then the week before that, we had our pre-recorded, host along episode, which did really well. And so Noelle is back in Sarnia, as she mentioned, and I'm actually in BC this week. For those of you that know about my grandson, Miles will be 1 year old on October the 13th. And so a year ago, we were here for that day. And I cannot believe that it has been a year. It does not seem possible that it has been a year.
No, it goes by so fast. So
it does. So we're here to celebrate, the huge Big One event. And of course, I've managed to squeeze a couple of little nitty events into that as well. And we've been out doing lots of walks and at parks and things like that. But the weather here is much warmer than it was in Ontario where we left. It's been, I'm in short sleeves today and a short sleeve sweater. We've just been wearing like shorts, a capris. It's quite warm. I think yesterday was all the way up to 26 degrees. So there's lots of opportunity for still knitting outside. And so that's what I've been doing a little bit of. And then on Thursday night, I am going to Sweet Georgia. And they host a knit night. So I'm going to be there, and I'm meeting up with our friend Sheila, who you've met.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, actually, she's driving me home. I'm getting dropped off. We're going to the aquarium first, and then the kids are going to drop me off. And then I'm going to go to Sweet Georgia for a knit night and meet some new knitty friends. And on Friday, I'm getting together with Linda and her friends. And Linda, a lot of you know Linda from For the Fun of Knit podcast. And she lives near here. So she has very graciously offered to pick me up and take me to her local knitting group. And we're getting together somewhere. She did send me the place. It's a coffee shop. So I'm looking forward to that. And so it's going to be a great week. It's going to be a great week. And the weather's going to be good all week. And then we've got the big party on Saturday. And
well, it's actually, I was surprised. I guess it's been warmer here than it was, but it was cool compared to what we were in, because like there were a couple of days that we had where the humidex was close to 40. So it was definitely not sweater weather. So it was nice to put a sweater on when I came home. And someone had asked if I was there for pleasure. Yes, it wasn't business or anything. It was we did 2 tours. One was strictly on the Turkish islands, and the other one was a couple of the Turkish islands, and then 4 Greek islands. And it was just a bike and boat tour. It was just a small boat. I think the first week there were 20 people, and then in the second week there were 18 people. So, And that was the first sort of major airport traveling in almost 3 years.
Yes.
So
it still feels odd. I mean, this is my second time flying, I guess. Or even is it? Yeah, it's my second time flying since the pandemic. And it feels still a little strange, not gonna lie. It still feels a little strange. But I'm willing to get over it.
yeah. Well, it was like our flights were good. Like they weren't really bumpy. They were on time, which was nice. All the flights were basically on time. But like that yesterday coming home, we had a short flight, and then the second flight was 10 and a half hours. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know how you spin it. That is a long time on a plane. That's just like,
and it was during the day.
And it was during the day. Well, because it's where we like Turkey is 7 hours ahead of us. So like we got up at 5 o'clock in Turkey. We got into Toronto at like 6:30 p.m., but then add another 7 hours onto that for what it felt like to us.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. The longest flight I've been on was 8.5 hours, and we were lucky that it was at night. The way there was at night, so we got onto the plane, and I'm not going to lie, within a half an hour I was asleep, and I can sleep.
Well, I can't.
Deep on a plane, and my husband cannot. Oh, I hear little footsteps. Oh, hello. We have company in the studio, aka the bedroom that I'm spending. Hi, would you like to come up and say hello? Oh, here's the birthday boy himself.
Hi, Miles. Oh, he has his little sweater on.
And he has his sweater on. Yes, his little Miles cardigan. Probably got him all bunched up here. But there, can you say hi? Do you see yourself on
Miles.
The screen? Who's this? Who's this over here? He's getting treats. Who's that? Is that a baby? Is that a baby? So he's crawling like a fiend. No steps. Well, I shouldn't say no steps. There's been a couple of steps that I don't think really count as steps because he doesn't know there's steps yet. Careful. It's a delicate setup here on this bed. But he's starting to like let go of things and stand on his own. And he can crawl faster than any baby I've ever seen crawl. I mean, I'm not just saying that because he's my grandson. My two children never crawled this fast. I can barely catch him when I'm running behind him in the house because you're trying to like gauge where you're going to drop down and scoop him up, and you don't want to step on little hands or feet. And if he knows you're chasing him, he can even like ramp the speed up a little bit more. And he can also go up and down stairs like nobody's business too. So,
yep.
And he's doing lots of chatting. Lots of chatter. So he's wearing his Miles cardigan. I guess we can talk about this. Would be my only finish for this week. And it was finished in time, luckily, to get it out here for him.
It's cute.
Oh, you don't want to stand up.
Love that color.
I took some pictures of it by itself. There we go.
Here, I can go in and show the pictures here.
Sure.
Where are we? So there's one.
Oh, that's a nice comment, Julia. She says Miles is really all of our grandbabies because we've been with your daughter through her pregnancy and now the whole first year. Oh, that's very kind. Very kind. Look, is that your sweater? And I took pictures. Those are his little animals that I've made for him previously, the Susan B. Anderson animals. And so the Miles cardigan is by... We might be reaching the end of our little visit. Okay, can you say goodbye?
Show off your sweater.
Show off your sweater, yes. So it should fit him for a little while, and it's by Faina Goberstein. And I loved making it. I really loved making it. It was a lot of work. I am not going to lie. And at one point, you're using 5 different charts to get around that sweater. So it is... it's not for the faint of heart. You have to really enjoy cables. And then there's a big cable pattern on the back of it as well. And it just looks like the sweet little old man. Okay.
Yeah.
He's
going to say bye-bye.
all right. Bye, Miles.
Bye, Miles.
Bye, Miles.
Later.
See you downstairs for dinner. Yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind a cardigan like that for me.
I really like it too. I'm thinking how long it would take to do 5 cable charts for an adult though. But it is a really nice sweater. It is a really nice sweater, and it will fit him for quite a while, I think. He did have a huge growth spurt, though. I saw him last in August, and he had a huge growth spurt since August. And I barely recognized how big he got because he was always a little on the smaller side. He was very lean, mean little machine. And he has put on some pounds and a lot of height. So he's bigger than I thought he would be. I was concerned. I thought the sweater was going to be bigger than would fit him properly. It's definitely not. It's a good fit the way it is, but it's intentionally knit where the cuffs turn up, so he'll have some sleeve length. And I did make it about an inch longer just in case too. So it's a great pattern. It's a paid for pattern, and I used the Barocco Vintage DK.
That is a
And
great yarn for kids knits.
you cannot get a better
No.
yarn, in my opinion, for kids knits because it's warm enough to be warm. It has an acrylic content, but it has 40% wool in it as well. So you still get that level of warmth without it being like stifling hot. There's zero itch factor if you're concerned about sensitivities. Well, in my opinion, anyway, I guess some people could still have a sensitivity to 40% wool, but it is just unbelievably soft and washable. You can throw it in your washing machine. I told Kendall, she wanted to know about the washing, and I said, just wash it inside of a little garment bag and then just lay it out flat to dry. So that's super easy to care for and long wearing. And my husband says that's truly a little heirloom sweater. So I don't know. It's the first time he's ever really taken notice of a knit. Yeah. So I was pretty happy to have that done.
Okay. We have comments here about lots of people saying, how exhausting travel is. And, it seems like it's not like you're up and you're walking around and whatever a lot, but it's just exhausting. It's just.
Well, it is.
I don't know.
It's the time that it takes, because it isn't just the air time, like the flight time. It's the getting to the airport. Even just getting here, we were almost 11 hours, by the time we drove to the airport, wait to get on the plane, do our first trip. We went to Calgary, switched planes in Calgary, then got back on for another 1 hour flight, get here. The kids were here and waiting, but it was 8 o'clock at night and we left our house at 1, but 8 o'clock here is 11 o'clock at home. So it's still a long day of travel, a long day.
And even for us, like we're like when we're flying internationally like that, like we don't have an airport close to us. So we had to drive to Toronto first, which is like 3 hours. So instead of coming home last night after we landed, after, basically that long of a time, we just stayed in a hotel, but both of us were up at 4:30 in the morning because we're still not used to the getting back to time. So we got up and drove home. We left at 5 o'clock and got home at 8 o'clock this morning. But, man, that 401 is still busy at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, at any time of the day. I'm just looking at Augusta's comment. She says
38 hours.
38 hours.
I know, that's crazy. Because we're talking about possibly doing that. And I can't think about it right now. I need a few days rest before I think about that long of a travel day. So, but yeah. But it was worth it. You're not going to see things in the world unless you do that, right? So, but it just is. It takes a while to kind of get back. It's almost easier when you go to get used to it because you're excited and you're getting there. But when you get home and you got to think about, I got to unpack, I got to do laundry, I got to catch up with everything that's has gone on since we've left. And so, anyway.
Okay, so we are 20 minutes in and we have really not
we did talk
any
about
of our target points.
We talked about Miles's sweater. That was knitting.
We did. That was on the list. Yeah, and that was the only thing. So maybe we should start with what we're wearing.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead?
Sure. I am wearing this Zweig sweater by Caitlin Hunter. And I did put a picture in here of kind of what it looks like because I'm not going to stand up because I have sweatpants on.
I'm just glad you remembered pants after that long of traveling, that you remembered to put pants on at all.
So this is obviously a while ago because my hair was dyed darker and a lot shorter. So, but this is done in, what did I do this in? It's Hedgehog Fibers Skinny Singles. And I know that the white color at the top, the cream color with the little flecks, is called Pine. And the green kind of color is called Ferrum or Ferris, something like that. But anyways, I will have show notes up, but not till tomorrow, and it will be linked. But
Okay,
I really like
fair
this sweater.
enough.
I love this pattern. I really love this pattern. I love the yoke, and the yoke, let me just take the picture off there. But the yoke, I loved knitting the yoke. I love the pattern of the yoke. I would do this sweater all in one color and just have that yoke, and do it more in, like, it kind of takes away from it a little bit that this had a little bit of like speckling in it. So I think you would see it better if it was just a straight color. But I love the
It's one
sweater.
of
I
the
love the
sweaters
fit of
that
the
is on my
sweater.
list. Yes, it's
Yeah.
one of the sweaters on
I-
my list to make. For years, it's been on my list to make. I should just make it. And every time I see yours, I like it more. I need to do that sweater.
But yeah, I love the way it fits. I think what I would do, because if I did it all in one color, it's like where this is here. So where that white is, I would just do like purl stitches. So you just get the texture, and do like a couple of purl rows here. So you'd still get the texture and still get the textured yoke being the same length, but just instead of the color work, I do it with texture.
Nice,
So,
nice.
Someday. Someday when I get through all the other things that are on my list. So
Brigitte says that she's made 4 cardigans from the Barocco Vintage DK. This is my first time making an actual garment. I've used it to make colorwork mittens, hats, lots of winter outerwear because of how easily it washes. But I know you also made a cardigan, did you not, for your daughter-in-law?
For my daughter-in-law, and it was in kind of like the navy heathery color. And I also made two of the girls' dresses. The festival dresses last year were Barocco DK.
Nice.
And definitely
it's a really nice sweater.
Stuff has to get washed. So okay, so Kelly, what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Kutar tee by Sari Nordland, and this was my Kitchener sweater that I wanted to have finished in time for Kitchener, and I got it finished with a little help from my friend, and I love the sweater. I used one, to think about it, one strand of Holst Titicaca in Rose Bay, and one strand of, was it Coast or Super Soft? Now I don't remember that part. Coast?
It was Coast.
Coast, and one strand of Coast in, help me out.
Red Currant.
Red Currant. That name will not stay in my head. Every time it's just like a mental block. Things I love about the sweater is this beautiful lace pattern that she has in here. And then I love the way these two yarns play together because, and this is sort of part and parcel. We're having the Holst along now that we're running all the way through till the end of December. And if you are not so much a fan of mohair, and we both are, but if you are not, and you're looking for something that's a little softer on your skin, because some people say mohair is tricky to wear, this Titicaca gives you the same type of loft as a mohair, but just not as much fluff.
Yep.
And it's 100% baby alpaca. So it's so soft on your skin. And then I just used one strand of the super soft, and this takes it up to a DK, even like almost like a heavy DK, to be honest, weight. And so I was able to get gauge, no problem. And I think the pattern was written for a DK sweater, so not a problem. And I've cast on another sweater using super soft in the background. This was Coast though. Now I'm getting confused, but the yarns are pretty much interchangeable. Coast is ever so slightly finer than the super soft, but I don't know that I've actually knit, other than mittens, if I've knit anything in the super soft where it's just straight super soft. I'm always pairing it with something and playing with yarns. Like I've used the Drops alpaca before, I've used a mohair, and now the Titicaca. So just before I left, I don't have it with me, obviously, but a package came in the mail, and I purchased Titicaca in, I think, 3 different colors to go with some of the cones that I already have at home. So for future sweaters. So, but this is a great pattern. It also comes, I believe she has a long sleeve Kutar sweater. If you're looking for something that's more winter friendly, she has a cardigan in this like type of a yoke pattern. And as well, she has, didn't you say a camisole, like a tank top? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's a really pretty pattern, and it was so much fun to knit. The attention to detail in it and just that little lace pattern, it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's funny how we both picked like this kind of a yoke to wear today.
Of course we did. And we never talk about it, but they do. You're right. It
No,
looks
no,
very
because I had
similar.
my love note on earlier and I thought, I'm kind of cold. I need something a little warmer. So I went up and got this on. And it goes with my sweatpants too. So
As I said, I'm just happy you remembered to put pants on being this fatigued from travel. So
yeah. Yep. Yep.
you did
Anyway,
have you did have a bit of a mishap though,
I
on your
did.
trip. Do you want to tell
I
that
did.
story?
Which, the hair or the leg?
No, the hair.
The hair. Okay, so we all know if we go from North America and we go over to Europe or Asia, the electrical system is not the same and our normal appliances will not fit into the socket. So you have to have an adapter. So I brought my flat iron. I mean, it was so windy there. I really don't know what I was thinking about. I'm biking all day, like why I was thinking I need to flat iron my hair. But I thought, okay, I'll just do the bangs, right? So I plugged my flat iron in this one day, and one day it worked fine. But this next day I plugged it in and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden I could, it smelled like something was burning. And so I went over and the flat iron it had turned off because it had gotten so hot. And I thought, great, my flat iron's yours. And I thought, oh, well, it's hot. It'll be good for my bangs. Well, not a good idea because it was turned off because it had gone way past whatever the temperature is
So did it actually
the
burn
flat iron
itself
goes
out
to.
though? Is it fried?
I didn't bring it home.
Oh, okay.
I put it in the garbage. Like you should have smelt it, Kelly. There's no way I was plugging
Oh,
that thing in again. But anyway, and that didn't smell any better once I burnt my hair on it. So I
no,
took it
no.
to my bangs. So this side here, I've kind of smoothed it all down with coconut oil, but it's like the texture's like this because it's so kinked because and then you smell that burning hair smell. I'm like, oh, whatever. Anyway, it was like, so I'm just like kind of going like this. Ross felt it and he goes, there's no amount of conditioner that's going to fix that.
I might have to start calling you Chrissy because I don't know. I'm sure there will be people out here that remember these dolls. When I was a young girl, we had these dolls. My sister had a doll called Velvet and I had Chrissy. Chrissy was the older sister and she was a redhead. And they had that hair that you pulled out of the top so they could be long hair or short.
That.
I wish I had that button so you could like change the hair length. And then there was a dial on their back and you would dial the hair back into their body.
Yeah.
Well, so this little part out around the head would be a short section. And I don't know what I did to Chrissy, but that's exactly what happened to her hair. And the whole side of one side of her hair like stuck straight out like it had been burnt. Maybe I tried to curl it. I don't know. But I kept trying to oil it to flatten it out.
I know.
Poor Chrissy never got her hair straightened out.
Anyway.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so
okay.
I won't make that mistake again because Kelly told me that she does have a flat iron that would have worked.
I do. I have a European flat iron.
I will know that for next time. So
Isabel had Chrissy too. Yes.
Yep.
And Velvet. Yeah. See, yep. Julia remembers. Oh, yep. So much fun.
Yeah.
Well, Chrissy didn't have much fun after I ruined her hair, but anyway.
I'm just like lucky I didn't do it down one big chunk of hair, right? Like, because at least the bangs won't take that long to grow back. But
well, you're lucky that it wasn't a longer section. I think there was a little viral video going around on YouTube for a bit where some poor young girl was like straightening her hair and she puts it in there and she holds it too long and then all of a sudden she pulls it away and the iron came away with all the hair in it. Like it burnt it right off.
Oh.
So anyway, okay, enough about that.
Okay. So
we've got some.
Did we do any knitting? Oh yeah, we better do that. Admin.
Let's do some admin. Let's give some stuff away.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, we know that we've got the sock knit along and we've got the summer hug, which the sock knit along we do still have to draw prizes for the end of September, and the summer hug ended at the end of September. We are going to do that this week because I did not get home soon enough to get that organized, and Kelly's away and the prizes are at her house. So we are going to do that next week. But this week we are going to do, you had a giveaway last week, right? There was another pattern prize.
Yes. And actually before you pull that prize, there's a tag in there under the banners.
Okay. Yep.
Natalie had a code that she shared with us all. And I believe, if memory serves, the code is still good until midnight tonight, her time, which would be Eastern Standard Time. And it's a code to get 25% off of any of the patterns that she has on her Ravelry account. And on Ravelry, she is Remembrances Pottery. And as we said earlier, she has been a great sponsor of our podcast because she shares a pattern each month for a sock, one of our sock prizes. So we just want to, and she stepped in for Noelle last week and she did a great job. So she's such a good friend, and she has fabulous patterns. So
okay, so that code's up there. It's KNP25 on Ravelry, and that's good till we think midnight tonight, correct?
yes, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm sure she said today's the 11th. Am I right? Yes, I'm sure she said midnight on the 11th.
Okay. And then so there was after she gave away a pattern last week on the live, and then there was a pattern prize to be given out for after. So I did a random number generator for that and pulled a winner. And the winner from that was Wendy. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, Wendy Knopp, I think. And her comment was, "What a great podcast. Thank you, Natalie, for being on the show today. It was delightful." And so, Wendy, if you want to contact, you can contact us on I find the banner. I have to do all this tonight because Kelly doesn't have the control. So, and remember, I'm sleep deprived. So, there we go. On our knits and pieces podcast at gmail.com. And we will make sure you can let us know how you want the pattern delivered, whether you want Natalie to email it to you or whether you want it through Ravelry. And I just got into my email today, and the winner from last week did contact me. I haven't gotten back to you yet because I had to recharge my keyboard. But anyways, I did get that, and I will pass that information along to Natalie. So I just wanted you to know that. But Wendy, you can either email the Knits and Pieces podcast at Gmail or through Ravelry. Just let us know and we'll make sure that you get that pattern. So thanks again to Natalie for doing that for us and supporting the podcast. And we hope that everybody enjoys their patterns. So.
And since we're talking about the podcast, this is probably a perfect key point to put in the shameless plug. If you are enjoying the podcast, please just take a second when you sign off and give the show a thumbs up. And then that really helps our channel. Okay.
So the next thing was we had let me see if I can find the banner here. The hashtag Style Your Sophie.
Which I'm having so much fun watching the hashtags.
I know.
I've been trying to stay on top of it.
They look so good.
And everybody looks good in a Sophie, not just you. Apparently people's pets look good in Sophies. I even saw somebody with one on their horse. I've seen the Sophies on lots of cute little dogs and kittens.
Like a little statue thing.
Yes.
And then there were ones that people combined mohair with it. There were ones that people did like half one color and half another color. So yeah, it was great to see it all. So, and speaking of it, if I turn around here, I do have my little tiny Sophie just at the back of my hair. Could you see that?
Oh, you did. You made a nice one. I like that. Yes, I like it.
This is what I had. I had like 5 grams left over from the very first original one that I did, and I just scaled it down to just do a little tie for the top of your hair. Okay, so that was the Sophie scarf by Petite Knit, and the prize was, Kelly's got the prize at your house, right?
Yes, I do. And it's a gorgeous skein of the same yarn that we used to make our original ones.
Yes, it was Coriander 3. And it was a silk yak blend.
Yes, a 50-50 silk yak.
And it's actually in
amazing.
This color. It's in this color. I don't remember it. Don't know if it had a color name, but it's like a
bronzy gold.
Cinnamony bronzy. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to pop this up here. Maybe. There we go. So the KNP Style Your Sophie KAL winner is Joyce, and her Instagram is at JACLEVAIR, and her name is Joyce. So I will message her on Instagram and let her know, and we'll get her address and get that yarn mailed out to her. So congratulations, Joyce.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody, for participating. Your scarves look amazing. And I
And
know
you don't have to stop. And you don't have to stop using the hashtag. If you are mid-knit, just keep entering them. We're having a lot of fun looking at them. And have you seen the ones where the people are doing, I've seen 2 of them now, where they do half and half. They do half of it in one color and half in the other.
Yes.
I want to do one of those. That's a
Yes.
fantastic idea.
Dawn from Frivolous and Frugal, she did one, and she did it with leftovers of a scarf that she had. Like she had done, well, I think it was her twofold cowl. She had
Oh,
done her
yes, it
twofold,
was.
and then
But
she had half
there's
and half
another one
left.
in there now too that somebody else has done that, and I really, really like it.
Or, I mean, you could do it striped. It's a great way to use that bits and pieces of things that you've got left over, because it does not take very much yarn. So, okay. So now as far as admin, continuing on, the whole
Oh.
salon has started. Did you see
Mindy did a
something there?
stripe only on one half.
Oh, that would be nice.
Oh, yeah, I'm
I know,
intrigued. I'm
it's like-
intrigued. Like, I'm not
So-
done making them. I'm not. I've got
No,
yarn
no,
with
me
me that
either.
I'm casting another one on. Yeah.
I might have actually got some yarn that's going to turn into some.
Might you have?
Might have.
Might you have? Yes.
I might have. I don't have our names up here, Kelly. Where do I have to go to put that in?
Oh, under our brand.
Okay. Okay.
Just make sure you have us on the right side. I always do that.
Well, they know who we are.
They know who we are. They know. Yes.
Ah, right. First time. I think we need a confetti burst for that. Yay, she got it right. You've been sleep deprived.
Yay.
Okay, we can stop it now. Oh, now it's gone. Put it up again. There we go.
Oh, is this where we're going to see the silly side of Noelle? I've seen this.
No.
Noelle sleep deprived is the equivalent of the toddler jumping on beds that you can't get them to settle down for the night.
Anyways.
Oh gosh.
Anyways, I see a lot of people in here talking about the Stephen West Cal, which we are not doing.
Which we are not doing. Noelle and I are much too much. Well, we're also way too much alike in that neither one of us
what I'm making.
want to be surprised by the knitting. We need to know ahead of time. So I've actually, in confession time, I've actually never knit a Stephen West shawl, but I want to because there are several that I actually really do like. So I'm just kind of hanging tight to see what this one looks like and then see if I want to dive into this one or go back a couple of shawls back and choose another one.
Okay. So that was admin, right? We'll talk a little bit more about the knit-alongs at the end.
Okay.
Which ones are still ongoing. So now we'll look at, did we finish anything?
Well, I finished the cardigan and everybody saw that. So
Yes.
that's my only finish.
Okay. I finished these socks.
Oh, the long socks.
These were my experiment socks. Look, they can walk.
Hi, Natalie. She just got here. You missed all of us gushing about how wonderful you are, Natalie. You'll have to go back and watch it. Such a sweetheart.
Okay, so these are my socks that are knit out of the Estelle Yarns twin socks that comes in one ball that basically gives you two matching socks. And I wanted to use the whole thing. So I thought I'd try an experiment where I cast on at the toe. Then I did, for the length of my foot and my heel, I did stocking stitch on the, well, you can put it wherever you want. You can either have the stocking stitch on your foot side or you can have the ribbed part on your foot side, depending on whether you like if you like the feel of the rib side on the bottom of your foot, right? So I did that up to the point where it would cover my foot and my heel. Then I switched to all rib, like 2x2 rib for 30 rows so that it would give it some elasticity to kind of cinch in around my heel. And then I switched back to stocking stitch to finish up the yarn. So if you look at this on here, if I pull this, then this sock is super long.
I am so interested to hear how those wear, but I mean wear as far as fitting inside of the shoe. Yes, like do they stay in place as you're wearing them?
I haven't worn them with shoes yet. Like I put them on and they feel fine on, but I haven't worn them with shoes yet. So I'm going to have to wear them like with my Blundstones. And I really like them pushed down like that. And I just did, if you see at the top, I just did kind of like a little picot edge all around the top. But I can pull them all the way up if I want to. But like, that's like this sock yarn seemed like it went on forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, I'm knitting socks with the same. mine didn't come all in one ball. It came in two matching. I made the sock and I felt like it was plenty long enough. So I stopped a little shy of finishing the skein, but I have enough left. The socks are actually going to be for Kendall. And then with what I have left, I'm making a little pair for Miles too. So
Like, look how long those are. Like that's the two, right? Like they look like stockings.
well, for some
So
people.
I mean, but I mean, I could have easily got two pairs out of that. Right? So you should easily get two pairs out of yours. But I will let you know in the future what they feel like on, because I mean, it was super simple to do because you did it all in one piece. So it was perfect travel knitting because you didn't have to stop at any point and worry about where you were going to put the heel or how you were going to do the heel, or if you had to go back in and pick up stitches, and you just kept knitting till the end, do your little picot at the end. And that way, when you do a sock like that too, you can also use up all the yarn that you've got instead of having any yarn left over. And I do think that's what I plan on doing with them, is wearing them slouched down, maybe with a pair of leggings or something.
That's right. And that's what Lori says. She goes, super cute to wear over leggings. And I'm doing, well, I'll talk about it just as a whip. I have one of them done and I just cast the other one on. So I have a hoe, but these have been finished for a while. So this is the same thing. It's the Estelle twin sock, but it's when they did the twin socks in two balls. Right. And that's still like a pretty lengthy sock. That's longer than I would normally make, like from toe. That's a good, I want to say 8 inches. And normally I would just go 6 to 6.5 inches. So, and then that's with the fade pattern. And then I still had enough left to do a little pair of socks. So I cast the other one on when I was on the plane the other day, actually. And this is what I have done so far. I've got a ways to go yet, but that's a 50-gram ball. It's a big ball of yarn, big. Yep. So, but it's really nice yarn. I like how soft it is. And it's got that, I don't know, we call it that German wool feel that we like. It's got,
well, it feels like
it's not rustic.
Like sturdy.
They feel sturdy. Yeah. Like almost, like a Regia.
Like I wouldn't say they feel merino soft.
No.
But I feel like I like a sturdier sock on my foot that just wears better.
And these are the kind of socks that I love to wear in my boots because they do have that sort of lush feel, but they're not super thick. Like they don't add too much bulk inside of my boots, like walking boots. Yeah.
Yep. So, okay. Did you finish anything else?
No, I said I finished nothing.
Okay. Well, I did.
You did. Of course you did.
Well, it's blocking. So I only have a blocking picture right now, but next week I'll show better pictures, but here's the blocking picture. So this is the Helen Joyce dress. And this is by, I don't know how you pronounce it. Tega Hilliard.
Is it Tega Hilliard? Yes.
Tega Hilliard. Yes. So this is a dress for Penelope. I have my pool noodles in, so I don't get those seams, kind of fold seams at the edges. I just want it to kind of go around. And then I've got the sign over it there, but the little heart design in the center front of the
It looks like it matches my sweater, even the style of the lace. Like I'm looking at it on screen. Yes.
Yeah. So I finished it. I probably took about 75 grams of yarn. So I've got a little bit left. So I think I'm going to maybe crochet a little flower and do one of those little headbands.
Oh, so cute.
To go with it. But it will be next week. I'll have the little buttons on the back and I'll have it all put together. And the yarn is Lily and Pine, and that is their Daylily sock. And that color is called Papaya. And it doesn't even show as bright there as it is, but next week, hopefully I'll have the dress and I'll show you, but it's a beautiful color. And I must say, like I did this dress because you kind of go down, you do the up to the underarms, but you cast off the sleeves. So you don't go back up and pick up anything. And with one skein, I'm always worried when it's hand-dyed yarn that I'm going to go back and pick up for sleeves and you're going to see a line where you pick up for the sleeves. So I thought this way, you're just casting the sleeves off right where they are. And then you continue. So even if there's a little bit of difference in the yarn, it's all going to flow into the dress as opposed to going back up and picking up something somewhere else. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And yeah, hopefully I'll have a picture of her wearing it.
So will this be her 4-month?
Well, picture? I missed her 4 months because we were away.
You were away. Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be 5 month. Okay.
It'll have to be 5 months. Yeah. So, but anyways, I really did like the lily and pine yarn, and that was yarn that I picked up at Little Red Mitten, but I really did like it. I
I
really
love the
thought that
color. The
the
color
color
is
on
so
it was
pretty.
very even. Their dyeing was very even.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Mickey was
and it was,
asking what the sock yarn was again, and I've got
you
my
have the,
band. Now it comes
okay. I
differently
don't have my
now,
band, so
but this is what it is. It's the Estelle yarns, and it's called Sock Twins. Now, when I bought it, it was sold in 250-gram balls, but now they sell it in a
in
100
one
gram, and
ball.
then they give you, how did they mark it, that you knew you were at the end?
Well, you knew because you went from dark to light. So when it started right back at the dark again,
Okay.
then you were at the second.
Yeah.
So
And it's very affordable. This is a really a good price point yarn too, and it's a 75/25. So
yeah, I think it's around $13 to $14.
mhm.
So that is really affordable, and it is sock yarn that you can throw in the washer. So that's nice. So
Yes, not the dryer, but the washer. It says you. I think technically you're supposed to be able to throw it in the dryer, but I would never put
I don't put,
it
yeah,
in
I
the
don't put them
dryer.
in the dryer. So okay,
Okay.
so what are you working on?
Well,
Oh,
besides
Susan,
those
yes,
socks,
I just want to go back here. Susan, she said it's such a pretty dress and she has lots of really cute baby patterns. She does. Tyga Kildred has really cute baby patterns.
I think that she. I want to say maybe was she the designer that I did one of the first sweaters for Miles. It was called the Wee Lima. I really loved making
Yeah,
that
she might have
pattern.
been, but
And I,
she does have a lot of nice patterns.
yes.
So
So while I was at the airport in Kitchener waiting to get on the plane, I cast on another Tassels in the Sky. Now, this is the Full Moon Fibers slub yarn, and then I'm pairing it with a mohair. So my slub is called Lagoon, and
oh, that's
it's
pretty.
beautiful shades of, this is a Julia skein. This is
Yes.
it's shades of teal and purple, and it has these lovely little slubs that you see, the bumps. And then I'm pairing it with the lavender from Drops Kid Silk. They look really, really pretty together. And then when you knit them together, this is the fabric you get. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yep,
Look at
beautiful.
this.
Yep.
How pretty is that? And I just love these little slubs. So
Mhm.
the shawl starts out really quick. Like I think I did this in maybe 45 minutes, this knitting. And then once you get to a certain point, you're just going back and forth. And then those purl rows get a little bit longer. But I did the same thing. Noelle and I, you've made two of these, right?
Yeah.
I've already made one. This is my second one. And what we do with this pattern, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's by Vincent Villapando.
Yep.
And it has three gorgeous tassels that hang from the 3 points. So we made the tassels first. And then with whatever we have left in yarn, that's what we knit out for the shawl. So
Julia said, is that her Christmas present? Sure, Julia, just cast yours on and you can make your Christmas present. Didn't you buy that color, Julia? I thought you
I
did.
think she has that color too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I said it's a skein that would be Julia colored. I'm not knitting
yes.
it for Julia. I actually think I'm not that good of a friend, Julia. No, I think I might keep this one, and then the other one I may give to Kendall. I just really like the pattern. It's a lot of fun, and it's a perfect knit when you just want to visit with somebody and not even concentrate on your knitting at all, because it is
Yeah.
literally just back and forth and increasing. So yeah, I cast that on the way here. I'll probably be working on it this week while I'm chatting with the nitty people.
Okay. So I am doing a sample for Leo and Roxy and for Woodstock. So I have to have it finished soon because Woolstock is on Saturday. But the pattern is, I've got a picture of it here. It is not that because that's Miles's sweater. Whoops.
Whoops.
Okay, there we go. It is Mini Skeins Go Big. And I've got there we go. Mini Skeins Go Big by Marion Boulin. So it is 2 skeins of your main color, and then it's minis. So it's, in this case, 5 minis, but you could do it with a fade set. If it was 6 minis, you can kind of, work out the pattern on how many repeats you can get done. But I'm doing it in the Leo and Roxy natural sock. So that is their sock yarn that has 80% non-superwash merino and then 20% nylon. So their colors that they chose, their main color is this color here. I don't know if it had a color name. It just had one of a kind, but I think there is a color very similar to that, but it's like a dark kind of really dark burgundy wine color. And then all the minis in here, I'm of course halfway through a row. I've got quite a bit of it done actually. So here's the colors. So it's that dark burgundy, and then it is their Leo. The second one I can't remember the name of. It's a really, really pale pink. It's paler than the pink that they called Noelle. And then there's Parchment, Meredith, and Morning Glory. So I've got like a few more stripe repeats to go. And then it's got I-cord all around the top. And then the I-cord goes all around all the sides. And then you cast off with an I-cord bind off. So it's going to be like a really generous size shawl. Like it's quite big. So you start off with like a big garter stitch wedge, and then you go around and you do an I-cord, you do the I-cord. Like you don't start off with an I-cord cast on, like you start off with a regular cast on, but then, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's paid for pattern, so I shouldn't go into it too much, but it's kind of like you've got a wedge in the middle and then it grows out from that. I'll put the picture back up again to show you, but so you can see you've kind of got that straight part in the middle. And then your increases build the wings of the shawl out. So it's not a triangle, but it's kind of like a flattened triangle almost.
Nice.
So I think it'll be a really good wearable shape, and it'll certainly be a warm, cozy shawl to put around your shoulders.
That would be a fantastic travel shawl too, right? Like just that cozy on the plane. It's a shawl, it's a blanket, it's your everything. Yes. Yep.
And like I said, like when you get down into here, like you can have all sorts of possibilities of what you want to put in there. Like a fade set like a single color fade set would look really good, or you could make it rainbow striped. I think that the one that they have as a sample in Leo Roxy now is like their gray with all the rainbow colors in it. You could do it just like with the one color and just one color in here if you wanted to, or you could have this a plain color and have this a variegated color. So there's lots of possibilities of what colors or what combinations to put in there. And you could even do it using up your mini skein scraps or whatever in the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just pick a solid and then just go in and put in your, but it is going to be, I would say it's going to take most of the 2 skeins, and then you've got 5 20-gram minis. So it's a 300-gram shawl when you're done. So that's a fairly generous size shawl. So, but that's what I've been working on. I worked on it quite a lot the first week away, but then it just got so hot that it was just
too hard to work on.
Sure. Yep.
Sure.
Okay. The name of the shawl, Lynn, is Mini Skeins Go Big.
And I just wanted to go back to, Kathy had said that she was having a bit of a tricky time finding slub yarn. So I just want to point out, again, mine is from Full Moon Fibers, and that's Allison and Jessica. It's 2 sisters that dye yarn. You would not be disappointed with this slub. It's their colors are amazing. The yarn feels incredible, and you can buy it directly from them. They have a website, and or if you want to, if you're closer to, I know Little Red Mitten carries a selection of their slub yarn as well, and I'm guessing that maybe since they weren't able to do their show in PEI, they may have a pretty good selection of it right now too, because I know that they had done a lot of dyeing in anticipation of going to PEI before the storm pulled them out. So definitely check them out.
Yeah, I know in Kitchener, they actually, and they might have eventually on their website too. I know they did have actually kits put together with a mohair and a slub. So, if you would rather have someone else put your colors together. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell when you're looking on the screen as far as whether the colors match or not.
Yeah. And the beauty of pairing it with a mohair is you could take 1 skein of slub and pair it with 10 different colors of mohair, and it's going to come out completely different, different. So have some fun with it. And, but the shawl is super wearable. It's very soft, and it's a lot of fun to knit too. Just plain fun knitting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mark said she's knitting the winter tails blanket shawl, and it's kind of the same shape as the one that I'm doing, but it's worsted, so it'll be her
A
snuggle
snuggle
shawl.
shawl. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. I love me a good house shawl. Love
Yeah.
me a good house shawl. Hmm.
So Lori said, are we doing any of the Advents this year? No, we're not. Advents is the same thing. We want to know what we're getting. So,
We're
so we don't.
terrible.
And I love mini skeins, but honestly, I hardly knit with them. Like I love them and I like to look at them and I have some and I'm going to get to them, but so far I haven't really knit with them.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
but a pattern like that, I could see doing a pattern like that.
Yes.
Like that
Yes,
mini skeins go
definitely.
big shawl. So
Hmm.
anyway.
Yep. But we did actually buy, we're not mini skeins people either. We don't traditionally buy a lot of mini skeins, but both of us, we bought the mini skein sets from Full Moon
Yes.
Fibers when we were
Yeah.
in Kitchener. They were
Yeah.
so
They were so
beautiful.
pretty. Yeah. I would
And I
just like
know
to
that
frame it and hang it up on the wall.
I know, right? I know. I don't want to actually knit with it. I just want to
No,
own it.
I just want to
I
look at
know.
it.
I want to curate it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
anything else? What else are you
yes,
working on?
I started my sock. So this is in the yarn that I showed 2 weeks ago. So this is Lane de Nord. This is painted sock, and it's a self-striping, but it's a commercial sock yarn. So I started my first sock. Now, in this sock, they did, if you can see there, they did break the color and joined in, and it was at a different point in the pattern, which not totally happy with, but the sock will be fine. I mean, honestly, I had enough yarn. I could have pulled off enough yarn and gone to the same spot, but I was knitting this on a plane and I didn't feel like having the yarn going all over and I didn't know what it was. So I decided I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to make sure that the other sock is totally different from this, like as far as the striping. So it doesn't look like I tried to match it and then didn't make it. Like they're going to be intentionally mismatched. So, and there's still lots of yarn there. But like I said, there's lots of yarn. I could have pulled it off and still had lots for the socks, but I just wanted to knit. I was in an airport. I needed to relax. I didn't want to be winding yarn off, figuring out where to start. So
No, you work with what you
anyways,
have where you
but I
have it.
do
That's right.
really like the color. And I do
I
really
think
like
I
how the
ended up
stripes are
buying that
working out.
color too,
Did you
because
buy
I
that
went
color?
there. Well, after you left, I went there with my sister-in-law. I went to get one skein. I talked about this last week with Natalie. I went to get one skein. I came out with more than one skein. And then Jillian, darn that Jillian, convinced me that I needed a sweater in the one yarn. So I ended up leaving with a sweater. I mean, it needs it needs some assembly, but it will be a sweater someday. And that's the one that I cast on. I showed it last week. I didn't bring it with me, but I showed it last week. And I'm making the J sweater with that a tenia yarn, holding that with a super soft, the dried plaster.
Yeah.
So that would also qualify for our Holst Along.
Yes.
There's like so many things for Holst Along.
Yes.
Like it's
yes.
endless
Well,
thing.
there is.
And it
And
doesn't have to be a sweater. It doesn't
No.
have to be a sweater.
You could do mittens, you could do a headband, you could do a hat, you could do a shawl, you could do a sweater, you could do a dress, you could do a jumper, you could do a vest. They have sock yarn, you could do socks.
You can go high, you can go low.
That's right.
I can be any color. I can be the rainbow. I can thinking about that song. I can be red. I can be purple. Yes.
So
Okay.
yes. I want to see people talking about wool stocking. Yes, I'm going. I'm so excited.
Yes. And I'm not
taking-
going. I'll be here celebrating a party. And I'm sorry that I'm missing an event, but you know what? I'm going to have a nice event this weekend
Yes,
too. But I
you are,
am
for
sorry
sure.
that I'm going to miss Woolstock because it's one of my favorites. You want to talk a little bit about it, Noelle?
Well, I'm just really excited that I'm taking my daughter-in-law Rachel with me, and Rachel just started knitting kind of more, like gotten more into it in the last couple of years. Well, not even like, but she's knitting amazing. Like she does socks, shawls,
Yes,
sweaters.
absolutely.
So she's doing amazing, and this will be her first yarn festival. So
And the
like
only thing that's more fun than going to a yarn festival yourself and getting the yarn and seeing all the people is taking a first timer to a yarn festival.
Yeah.
It's amazing just to see,
I know, 'cause I told her,
what
I
they
said,
think about
"Rachel,"
everything. Yes.
I said, "Rachel, you need to figure out what you're going to look for, what you want to get," because I said you are going to be overwhelmed. Just
Oh, you
So
could just be
anyways.
like Noelle and I say, we're just going to go, we're just going to get a few things and we come out with bag loads. We can't
Okay,
help it.
yeah. I may or may not buy something.
You may or may not. Yeah, right.
So, anyways, I'm looking forward to it. So,
And
yeah.
Marianne is going from Manitoba, and
I
I'm
know,
so bummed out.
Marianne, I can't wait to see you.
Yeah, as much as I'm upset about missing Woolstock, I'm upset about missing Marianne 2 years in a row. We're
Well,
Instagram friends, and
but
I've
won't she
missed
still
her.
be here? Won't she still be here?
No,
Oh,
she
really?
leaves the day I get home, or like she's leaving. We get home next Sunday, and I think she's leaving on Monday. So, yeah. So unless, I stop by, I guess, on my way from the airport Sunday night. But yeah, I just feel bad because we know each other on Instagram and through Zoom, and just keep missing her.
Did you
So
not meet her one time last year?
I think I did, but it was kind of before we were actually like friends. So it was just like, oh, hi,
Because I
this
thought we
is
knit under the bridge. We went down to knit under the bridge, and then it was so cold we had to move. Remember, we had to move away into a sheltered spot.
Yes, I think
Yes,
so. But
yes.
as I said, now we're friends, and now I really want to knit with her because now I know who she is, and we chat a lot on Instagram. So yeah, oh well, you're gonna have a great time at the festival,
Yeah, it's gonna be
and
fun.
sad that I will be missing it, but there are other
You get to go.
festivals.
You're going to Sweet Georgia.
I am.
And you're going to knit with Linda.
And I'm going to
sad
knit
that
with
I'm
Linda
sad that
and
I'm not doing
Sheila and
that.
Donna.
So,
And yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
looking forward, and who knows who else will be there. So there'll be lots of friends by the time I'm done knitting for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So, do you want to see what I bought in Turkey?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. First of all, before that, I just want to say thank you. We had a viewer, Susan, that had written to me, and she had said that, her grandchildren were old enough now that they weren't wearing their little sweaters, but she kind of like reclaimed a lot of the buttons and stuff off them. So she sent us, you and me, all her little buttons, all the little.
Oh, yes.
Yes, all the little buttons. Like there's little ladybugs here. There's some airplanes and trucks. There's little bows, little hearts. So perfect size. Like I might even be able to find a couple of buttons in here for the back of Penelope's sweater or her little dress. So I'll have to show those to you, Kelly, and see if you need some of them for some of the sweaters for Miles. But thank you so much, Susan. And it's so nice to make sure things get repurposed and, especially buttons, because nothing ever really happens to buttons. Oh, there's a cute little train that looks like Thomas the Tank Engine here.
Oh, so cute.
An
so
airplane.
Cute.
But yeah, so thanks, Susan. And like I said, I'm going to check through those and see if I can find something for the back of Penelope's sweater. Okay, so on to Turkey. Okay, so the first yarn store that I showed a picture of on Instagram that we went to was in a place called Fetcha. And like it was just loaded with yarn. Like you could walk around a million times and you'd still miss something. And buttons. So in there, I got, and I didn't want to buy too much in there because we didn't know where else we were going to be going. So this first one is, it's by Etrofil. So I got 2 skeins of this, but these are, I believe, 50-gram skeins. 50 grams, 100% organic merino superwash wool. So it's 100%. So there's 2 skeins of that. Of course, it's in a pinky color.
I was going to say, it's a beautiful color.
So not sure. It might be like a cowl, or I'm not sure yet. I think I've
very pretty. I like it. I like it a lot.
And then they had sock yarn. So I got a couple of sets of sock yarn here. So these came in a package. It came with the 2 skeins of the sock yarn, the needles, and the pattern. But the pattern is in every other language in the world except English.
Of course.
Like it's in at least, there is one pattern that's at least in our alphabet. The rest are not even in our alphabet. So.
Oh, gosh.
But anyway,
there should be no problem for us to figure that out.
Okay, so that came like that. So I got that set. I got this set. And I got that set.
Very nice.
And then in that store, they also had a really good selection of buttons. So I got, where's my camera here? Right there, can you see it? So those are like round wooden round wooden buttons that have a little flower etched on them. So I got 7 of those. And then there was these, I really liked these pink ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 7 of those. And then they had lots of little handmade tags. So I got a bunch of the heart ones, and then I got a couple of little, where are they?
Oh, cute.
The little, so I got a couple of these handmade ones that say handmade, but they say it in Turkish. So I'm going to put
Oh,
one of
so
those on
sweet.
Penelope's dress because I knitted in Turkey.
Oh,
So anyway,
adorable.
so I got, okay, so all that yarn plus like 14 buttons, plus I got about 25 of these tags. Total came to $28 Canadian.
Wow. worth the price of the trip
Of
to
the
Turkey
airline
for that.
Seriously, like unbelievable. Okay, so then in
Wow.
another store, I just got this. I got some cotton. It's just a ball of cotton. I think I'm actually going to do a cotton Sophie scarf with it. So it's a DK weight, but you can see it kind of is goes into all the pinks, and so I
Very
think that'll
nice.
make a really pretty Sophie scarf.
Mm-hmm.
And then in another store, I got this. So this is, and this was the brand that you saw a lot was Alize or Alize. So this is, it's a brushed yarn and it's a gradient, but I think this would make a great like European road trip shawl. So it would just fade the one way. So I got that color. And I got this color. And this is a different one.
Oh, I
So
like
this one-
that
this one
neutral.
is-
That's so nice.
This one here.
Well, I'm watching it slightly delayed.
Oh, delayed. Okay. So that
So
one.
the second one that you showed, I love. Yes, I
this
love
one.
that one.
Yeah.
Love that.
And then this one is a microfiber. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. Something.
Very
So-
nice. Very nice.
Okay. And okay. So this was like, I think $7. And I think
Julia
these-
wants to know if you had to leave clothes behind to fit the yarn. No,
luckily-
Julia, she left her straightener behind.
That's right. And I threw out my water bottle because it wasn't keeping the water cold. Okay. So then I did get a sweater quantity. I should have taken this out of the package. Anyways, there's this color. That's the pale pink that I got a sweater quantity in. So
Beautiful.
this yarn is it's Gazelle rock and roll. So if you see it, it's got like a sheen in it.
Yes, I can see the sheen.
Yes. So I got that and that one. And this is enough to do like a Sophie scarf. But the pink is going to be a sweater.
Is that all the same yarn, the three?
Yes. Yes. But the pink is the core on the pink is very similar to the out color. Whereas this, you can see there's like black, but it's got the
Oh, the
tealy color.
cord, the cord color.
Yes. It's different. Yeah.
So
and then that one is like a bronzy color.
the pink and the browner one that you have, that looks a lot like the colors that I'm using in the sweater that I've got cast on at home
Oh,
with
yeah.
the Atenia. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the last thing was just, this is just a ball. It's called Ultra Cashmere and it's by Himalaya. And again, I think that might just be a plain, like kind of cream colored Sophie because it'll go with everything.
Very
Or
pretty.
or I could hold it with something.
Very pretty.
So I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
Good
fun.
haul.
But there
Good
were more
haul.
of the yarns that were more acrylic, right? Because I think the Alize brand has a lot of acrylic yarn, and it's hot there. I don't think there's a lot of wool. And linens, I just didn't. I love linen sweaters. I love linen clothes. I just don't like knitting with linen.
No, I like it.
So-
I like the finished product for sure.
Yeah.
I do.
But I mean, the yarn prices were like, I think for the sweater quantity of yarn was maybe a little over $20. So like
Crazy.
the prices were incredible. Like you're going, are you sure that's all it is?
Yeah, I feel like I should be paying you more. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so
can
it was
you-
fun.
Can you go back up in the comments? Klaska had a comment in there about her grandmother's spinning. I can't go back. I want to. I'm ready to do it with my finger, but it's not going to work.
Okay.
Can you see it? Go back up.
Yes, she took my mom to her first yarn show in September. She's 92. She found out she used to spin yarn. Oh, wow. During World War II and would get half the skein as payment.
Can you imagine?
Wow. She spun hundreds of skeins. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is quite a story. Thank you,
Yep.
Klaska, for sharing
Yeah,
that. That's amazing.
that's cool.
Very cool.
I know. I can't wait to get back to spinning too. Like, I mean, why do I keep buying yarn? Because it's fun. I don't know, because
We're gonna have to go to, I don't know, like some Yarn Buyers Anonymous or something. I don't know.
I
don't know.
But yeah, so that's pretty much what I got done. So
Oh,
gotta
and
get that
Barb
shawl
says
finished.
that Croy is now made in Turkey.
Oh wow. Well, there is like, and even some of these
Yeah,
yarns,
there's a lot.
they'll say like was it on this one? Let me see. Like that the yarn that the yarn is designed. The yarn actually comes from Italy, but it's designed in Turkey or the other way around or something like that. So so this one says made in Turkey. I know the Elise yarn is from Turkey. I know the sock yarn I got was from Turkey. And they're yarns that you don't see here. Right. And I mean, this is still a 75-25, and it feels very much like the German sock yarn. Yeah, but it was just nice to see different, I don't know. I mean, the stores were really nice to go into, and it was just a little bit of difficulty conversing because the language is not English, right? So you're trying to say like, you know, I mean, by the end of the first day,
the knitting language is universal, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
All right. We should
talk
we're
about
almost at an hour and 15. I can smell dinner cooking down below. So I guess I've been excused from dinner duty tonight. So that sounds good. But we're going to talk about what we've got going on for our Makealongs.
Yes. So we have started our
Holst along. Do you have a banner? Or I think I made one up last week.
Yeah. Yep, I saw it. There we go. So we've got our KNP Holst along. So for that, we just want you to make whatever you want using a Holst yarn. So there's a wide variety of choices. There is Coast, there is Super Soft, there is Titicaca, there is Tides, there is Noble, which I don't know if they make anymore, but if you have it, you're certainly welcome to use it.
Absolutely.
There is Stilo, there is their sock yarn, and any other yarn that they might have that we don't know about.
And you're welcome to pair it with anything.
Yes.
Just as long as Holst is in it.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention that 2 weeks ago, when we aired our pre-recorded episode, I bragged in that episode about how I would get the thread up and going in Ravelry while Noelle was away. I didn't do it at all.
I will get that up.
So you'll have to do that if you don't mind until tomorrow.
It won't be tonight because it's pretty much tomorrow in my world right now.
And I tried really hard to keep up with the comments while you were away, because I know, and I'm definitely getting a handle on how much that takes of your time too. So thank you so much for doing that part of it. I tried to stay abreast of it. I will get
back to them.
I fell behind terribly. I tried. I was reading them all, but I didn't get back to everybody that I was trying to get back to. It was a chaotic last week before we got on the plane to come here. Just with work and whatnot. So sorry for that. Apologies.
I checked my emails today before we did the Sophie scarf draw, and there was like, if anybody had emailed me saying that they didn't use Instagram or whatever, what I did for that was I actually went through and I made a list of everybody's names. So anybody else that was an emailed name, the name got put in there too before I did the number generator to pick the prize. So I just want everybody to know that yes, your names got in there. So. But I just haven't had time to go through and get to the comments, but I will get back to that, and I will get the thread up for the Holst along. So that is going to run until it started October 1st, and it's going to run until December 31st. Okay. And then the other knit along that we have going is our sock knit along that goes all year. And we will next week have the September prizes, but in the meantime, you can keep putting your socks in there. So there is a hashtag if you want to show them on Instagram. It's KNP 2022 socks. And we do draw prizes every month. And then we've got a grand prize for the end of the year. So for that particular knit along, all you have to do is finish your socks. It doesn't matter when you started them. Once you finish them, just go in there and put them in that Ravelry thread. So Okay. And I think that's it. There's just those two that we have going.
Mhm.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us.
And I have a question for you. Do you
Mhm.
know what next week is?
It is, do we have an anniversary?
We do.
Okay.
2 years, right? 2
Oh,
years.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Our 2-year podiversary.
Okay. Phew, I got that right.
Whew. So I think definitely, I mean, next week might be a champagne podcast for sure.
Okay.
I'll be home. You'll be home.
I'd have a champagne podcast anytime you want.
The buble may be the real buble, not just
This is, I
water.
just have sparkling water today.
Yes, yeah, that would be a reason to celebrate though. 2 years together.
Yes, it would for sure.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah. And I still like her. Not ready to give her up yet.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, after I've not had any sleep and just keep going and going and going. It's like, okay, go to bed now.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jonathan said it's Dad's birthday. Yeah, it's Ross's birthday. That's what it is.
Well, yes, there's that too, but you know,
My voice
in the
man.
yarn world. Yes.
I told you he's my voiceover man.
He is. He sounded so good doing those. That's what I talked about it last week on the podcast. So we'll have to get him to do some like voiceover ads for us for the podcast because he sounds great. He's got a real.
Linda's gonna have champagne. She's gonna have champagne chill to join us. Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
Linda. Everybody do that.
Everybody's welcome to join in. Yeah, we condone for sure. We do. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and Marianne says to give Linda a big hug from all of us viewers. I will for
and
sure.
For me.
Well, I hope she's a hugging person because she's going to get one anyway.
Okay.
It's going to be so fun to meet her.
You need to give her two because you have to give her one from me.
Okay, I will for sure. All right.
So if I wasn't so tired of flying, I'd get on a plane and come right out there. But I'm not ready to get on a plane again for a while.
Yes, I know we need a little break, right? But okay, well, it's been fun seeing you, Noelle, after 2 weeks of not seeing you, but
I missed
looking forward to being home in person.
I missed seeing everybody and talking to everybody. It felt strange on Tuesdays not to. And you know what? I think I was up at 2:00 that morning. I'd woken up, but I had no internet. Otherwise, I would have joined in.
Well, the thing is, too, even the first week where we did the pre-recorded episode, I was sitting at home going, what do I do? It's Tuesday. I feel so strange sitting there twiddling my thumbs, missing everybody because it just wasn't the same. It really was a big gap. So happy to be back this week.
Yeah.
But I guess I am going to have to go because I'm definitely losing light in this bedroom. It's starting to get dark, and I don't have my normal setup, so that's good. So thank you everybody for joining us.
And I will go through this again, and I will go through all the comments on this and see if there's any questions that we missed, and we will answer them next week.
We will.
Okay.
For sure. So same time next week.
Yep. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Happy knitting.
Okay. Can't find the banner. There.